Mobile IoT and 5G, they give a lot of opportunities and possibilities in the industry right now. And we're here at Mobile World Congress 2023, and I'm here with the expert in this domain, Matt Price, who's the Vice President Provider Mobility at Cisco. And we have a nice background here from Barcelona.
Absolutely.
But we're going to discuss about the challenges initially about mobile IoT and 5G. What do you see in the market? What are the key challenges?
Well, so for mobile IoT, one of the things we do a lot at Cisco is we work with our CSPs to provide what we call IoT Control Center, which is enabling our providers across the world to provide cellular connectivity for Internet of Things type devices. The bulk of which for us is, and our key industry is, as you can see behind us here, is connected vehicles. And so what we are seeing is this evolution in the automotive space that takes us from traditional internal combustion engines into a more electrified world. And you're seeing a transition in the automotive space from vehicles that were largely mechanical devices into a full kind of data center or edge on wheels. The amount of data and use cases being driven by our automotive companies is really driving a lot of the 5G development, both in terms of making sure that our OEMs are staying current on technology, as well as the fancy and amazing use cases that can be created with the ability to push and pull large amounts of data into the vehicles. So things like advanced use cases around intersections, where we can now, through ubiquitous sensors and cameras, really help drive increased security by proactively detecting hazards and pedestrians in the roadways, and communicate directly with the vehicles due to both the low latency of 5G and the high bandwidth of cameras to be able to drive some incredible use cases that we couldn't even imagine just a few years ago.
Talking about this use case you can't imagine, what are the typical use cases that you see now, or what are the more advanced type of use cases?
So I think if we're talking about mobile IoT use cases, really what we're talking about is just getting great coverage everywhere, right? So you can now connect more and more things as the price of hardware to drive cellular connectivity comes down. So you originally were doing things that were really consumer and handset specific. With mobile IoT, we're able to put cellular devices into all sorts of things. Things like, again, the autonomous vehicles, but down to trackers for ports and ships, down to backhaul for all of our water meters. No longer do you have somebody driving around and checking the water meters. It's being sent back in over the cellular networks to our carriers. So you've got all kinds of great use cases enabled by mobile IoT for our carriers. But with 5G, we're seeing that enable going up to now a lot of high bandwidth use cases, a lot of interesting low latency use cases, things like pushing AR, VR into factories that really we couldn't have done in the past, because without those real low latency connections, you're not able to overcome some of the human challenges in those types of use cases.
Yeah, basically any device that produces data gives an opportunity in the future to create some kind of use case. Now, if we look to this future, what kind of compelling things should people keep an eye on? Because this is where the trends are going to be in the coming year.
Well, I think some of the compelling things, and this is a little bit of transitioning from mobile IoT to some of the private 5G stuff, is as we continue to increase the ubiquity of connectivity to everything everywhere, we're creating more and more surface edge point for security. And so security is becoming a primary concern that we have to be looking out for in all things. Right now, your suitcases have connectivity in them, and now you've got a vulnerability in terms of those things. Some of the fun stuff we've seen with AirTags being placed in cars, it creates a lot of challenge. And so one of the things that we've been working on is really how do we look at extending the security footprint that we have in our enterprises into the 5G space. And so when you look at what you're seeing here a lot at Mobile World Congress is the incredible push for enterprise private 5G. And so what we're looking at is how do we extend all of the security footprint that you've already built in your existing IT infrastructure into a 5G world. And that's something that we're doing here with with our private 5G solution integrated with our portfolio of things like ICE and Thousand Eyes, all of the visibility and security. I think that's really something we have to be watching out for, because one of the things we're really seeing is the increase in security threats created by more and more footprint and less human-driven devices. Things left in the corner by themselves. If we're not doing an exceptional job of monitoring the security and watching the data in and out of all of these devices in real time and observing it effectively, we're creating a lot of security footprint problems.
Which is the foundation of usage, basically, because if it's not secure, it's not going to work.
Nope. And if you can't get the data off and use it to make intelligent business decisions securely, seamlessly, simply, it's just not going to work.
Great insights, Matt. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure.
And thank you for watching here at Mobile World Congress, and enjoy the rest of the whole show.